Well, hello. It's been 2 months since the guitar was sprayed. The nitro has had plenty of time to sit, and it's finally time to finish this project. Unfortunately, over the course of curing, most of the pores in the limba began to show on the surface. And that's after 3 rounds of grain filler before the clear was ever shot. In order to level the finish adequately, I had to go all the way down to 400 grit. Thankfully, I didn't sand through. Here's what that looked like after 3 nerve-wracking hours. Now that the finish was completely flat, I can begin going up in grit, starting with 600. And continuing with 1,000. Looking better. And lastly, 1,500. These rounds took much less time to complete, around 30 minutes each. Enough sanding already. Let's make this thing shine. For this, I'm starting with Meguiar's cutting compound on an orange cutting pad. This instantly and dramatically brings out the luster in the finish. It also shows you how bad you suck at sanding. After the first round, the guitar was shining, but it made the underlying scratches painfully visible. But the longer you work at them, the better they get. Just don't stay in one place too long. This is after 2 hours and 3 rounds of compound. Lastly, Meguiar's polish on a black polishing pad. 1 round of this was all it took to finish the finish. After an entire day of anxiously concentrating on not screwing this up, I am equal parts relieved, thrilled, and exhausted. All right, let's put this beast together. I ultimately went with a Fender Custom 69 for the neck pickup, and of course my long abused Super Distortion in the bridge. I don't think I mentioned it before, but the control scheme is a lot like a Les Paul. 2 master volumes on a 3-way toggle, minus the tone knobs. The humbucker has a push-pull pot to split it for single coil use when desired. And I also wired the neck pickup out of phase because I just liked the way it sounded. Checking the wiring. Time to set the neck. I'm really pleased with the fitment of the pocket. Jewelry. Loading the trem. Now I can set the bridge and string it up. So, insider access here. I had already assembled the guitar during the 2-month curing period. This allowed me to audition a few different pickups and also work out any kinks well in advance, making this setup go super smoothly. Checking the nut. Neck relief. Trem angle. String action. Intonation. And setting the pickup height. In the end, she came in at a very manageable 8.5 pounds. All that's left to do now is button her up and wipe her down.
Well, this is it. The guitar is finished. In between the video you just watched and now, I've already managed to play the strings off of this thing. I even managed to scratch and dent it in a few spots, but other than a few small mishaps, this thing sounds fantastic. I think the combination of the neck single coil and the bridge humbucker covers so much ground sonically. That hybrid is perfect. And I think it really fits into this amalgamated Fender visual look that I had in mind. I really do think I achieved the goal that I set out to, and I couldn't be happier. If you were just here for the build, this is probably a perfect hopping off point. I do want to say thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. I'm sorry the series was longer than I anticipated. But if you're here to see what this thing sounds like in my rock hard hands, stay tuned. I remember in the original video, I joked that I only play 4 songs. So I'm going to go through the Rolodex and I'm going to pick out 4 songs that really showcase the sounds that I enjoy most out of this guitar. The setup is very simple. I'm going straight out the guitar into the Axe effects, out through the monitors. That wouldn't sound very good for you guys being recorded on this crappy mic. So I'm going to pipe that sound direct into my DAW, and then you guys can hear the full quality version as well. Let's go.
Guess we can close the file on that one.